What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Gervonta Tank Davis trainer, Kenny Ellis, as he typically does, did an interview with Mill City Boxing. Shouts out to Mill City Boxing. To which Kenny Ellis made some outlandish statements, once again, as he typically does. But this just goes to show you the mindset of their team, right? With that said, when asked about the fight that the whole world is asking for, which is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, Kenny Ellis states that, which I agree with, that the fight that everybody wants to see right now is the rematch between Tank and Lamont Roach. Seeing as though how that fight ended in a debacle, and many people thought that Lamont Roach actually won that fight. I agree with Kenny when he made that statement, right? Yes, I think right now that the fight that the boxing world is clamoring for is is Lamont Roach getting his rematch, right? But Kenny Ellis says that and reiterates what Gervonta Tank Davis stated, that nobody wants to see Shakur Stevenson box. After the fight, Tank Davis was asked about Shakur Stevenson. He said nobody wants to see that boring blank. You fill in the blank, right? And Kenny says that he'll beat Josh Padley when he was in the 6th grade. When I was in the 6th grade, I could beat Josh Padley. When he was 16 years old. No, he said when I was 16 years old or in the 6th grade, I could beat Josh Padley. Just ridiculous statements, right? But then he says that Shakur Stevenson is boring. Newsflash. Tank Davis said Shakur Stevenson is boring. He's defensive first. Nobody wants to see that. Newsflash. Let's just have a newsflash for everybody. Okay? Gervonta Tank Davis has the lowest output of anybody in boxing. So if he don't get a knockout, how exciting is it? Because he's not very active. The thing that makes him exciting is that he gets the knockout in the end. That's what makes it exciting. And that there's always a chance that when he connects, he gets a knockout. In the Lamont Roach fight, Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach combined in the 6th round to land 52 punches. Now, again, this is not in defense of Shakur Stevenson's style, because yes, Shakur Stevenson's style is box first defensive mentality, 1000%, right? And yes, Shakur Stevenson had an extremely low output, a combined 108 punches landed with Edwin De Los Santos, right? Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur combined for 108 punches landed in the total fight. What y'all not paying attention to is that Lamont Roach and Tank Davis was on the same par to do the same thing. There's only 12 rounds in the fight. At the halfway point of the fight, they landed 52 punches. Let me say it again. At the halfway point of the fight, they landed a combined 52 punches. 52. When the fight was over, Lamont Roach landed 112 punches, Tank landed 103. They combined for 215 punches landed. And there was no knockdown and knockout. Now, it was the knee, the debacle with the knee, when Tank Davis took the knee. That's the debacle, right? Outside of that, how much action was in this first 6 to 7 rounds? Not a lot. They was on the same par. So when you put him in there with a guy that he was familiar with, that wasn't scared of him and wasn't retreating from his power, and you didn't feel like there was just a matter of time before he was getting ready to get knocked out, then it was a boring fight. Outside of the Isaac Cruz fight, where Isaac Cruz pressed the fight the entire night, Tank Davis was completely defensive-minded. When you look at the Tank Davis fight with with Ryan Garcia, he was completely defensive in that fight. Ryan Garcia was the aggressor, not Tank Davis. The excitement comes from he has the ultimate equalizer. He was defensive, had an extremely low output in that fight. If he don't get a knockout, how active and how exciting was he? Don't get me wrong, he's exciting. I'm not taking anything away from him. But to try to nullify and say that Shakur Stevenson is just so boring and Tank is just so exciting. No, Tank is exciting because he ends the fight with a knockout. The fight is playing out the same way Shakur Stevenson fight is playing out, people. Newsflash. So now he's saying that nobody wants to see Shakur Stevenson fight. Then he says Lamont Roach beats Shakur Stevenson, right? But at the same token, now get this, in the same token, when asked what you think about Lamont Roach fighting Shakur Stevenson, he says that's not a good idea if Lamont Roach fights Shakur Stevenson before rematch and Tank Davis, because if he fights Shakur Stevenson and gets outboxed, the Tank Davis rematch loses his luster. You just said that Lamont Roach would beat Shakur Stevenson. You're not confident that Lamont Roach can beat Shakur Stevenson. And the problem is you fear that Lamont Roach gets outclassed by Shakur Stevenson after that performance that Tank Davis put on before Tank Davis fights Lamont Roach in a rematch. And now people going to pressure Tank Davis to fight Shakur Stevenson. That's where the problem lies. Because now the whole world, casuals, non-casuals, hardcore boxing fans and casuals, is going to have a barometer in real time to gauge. And then those casual fans on ESPN and everywhere else, they're going to start to demand a fight with Shakur Stevenson. That's where the fear comes in. It's diabolical. We need to see the rematch because we had that knee that took place, and then we need to see Shakur versus Tank. Should Tank beat? And I think that Tank, and I actually think Tank is going to beat Lamont Roach in a rematch. I think he has more room to make more adjustments than Lamont Roach. I think Lamont Roach fought the best fight of his life, and I don't think it gets better than what he performed. I think Tank could go to another level. But who knows? Lamont could be Tank's Evander Holyfield to Mike Tyson, or Tarver to Roy Jones. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.